Jason Fladlien here. Info product creation secrets. After 150,000 plus customers in over 131 countries in 15 years in this business of digital marketing, I'm going to share with you what I've discovered when it comes to being successful with information products. Now, to kick this webinar off, I have a quiz for you, Hotshot. It's a simple quiz. It is 5 simple true and false questions. And the answers here don't get you an A+. They are more important to your future financial independence. So if you could please locate the chat box, and I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to put T or F into the chat box. Okay? You ready? Let's go. First question, true or false? You have to be good at marketing to be able to sell information products. Go ahead and put in your answer there. Do you suppose this is true or false? Type a T or an F. And here's how I see it. I believe it's mostly true. Generally speaking, you have to be good at marketing. However, there is an astonishingly easy hack to a certain type of marketing that I can teach you in a few short minutes, and I will teach you this in a few short minutes, that can quickly allow you to command attention and bring in money regardless of previous experience, whether you have no experience or you have negative experience, meaning you've tried and failed multiple times. So we can bypass the normal limitation of having to learn marketing that holds people back and keeps them poor. Question number 2, true or false? You need to be an expert to create an information product. And this is one that holds a lot of people back and keeps them imprisoned in the current financial situation they're in. The answer to that is false. In fact, there is a way to turn the tables on the normal gurus in any market and use your lack of expertise to win over customers and pull in profits. In fact, in some instances, and I will share this with you, it's better to not be an expert. It's better for the audience you wish to reach, and it's better for your bank account. Next question, true or false? With all the free stuff that's out there, people are buying less information products. So with all the free stuff, there's less demand for information products, and that is the exact opposite of what most people believe. The answer is false. There's more demand than ever. The information business has exploded. It is 148 times larger than it was when I first started in business. And it was large enough back then that a lot of us were getting in business and becoming millionaires in short order. Right now, the best way to describe the current market conditions is buyer frenzy. It's a buying frenzy out there right now, and it's time for you to cash in on the hottest growing market on the internet. True or false? All the good product ideas have been taken. This one is pretty obvious. It is false. Every day there are droves and droves of new customers who are looking for new products that don't exist yet and are leaving empty-handed, disappointed they can't spend money with somebody like you. Just look at the new opportunities with AI alone and the proliferation of products that have exploded as a result of that and have made a lot of people who were broke yesterday rich today. Final question, true or false? Speed is more important than ever when it comes to cashing in on the enormous profits waiting online for you to claim rightfully as yours? And the answer to that is 100% true. And that is going to be our primary focus today. Specifically, on this webinar, you will discover how to create a specific kind of high-quality info product. Do so in 2 hours or less if you can follow the system properly. This product will automatically attract the right kind of buyers to you, so you don't have to worry too much about the driving traffic or spending money on ads or any of that nonsense. And this will sell well even if you can't sell. That's what you're going to discover on this webinar. Now, here's my promise to you. My promise is this. I'm going to give you the easiest path to financial success when it comes to selling info products. And I do this with the hope that it will excite you so much that when I make an offer to you at the end of this webinar, you're going to say, absolutely, I want that, Jason. Here's my money. I'm signing up. And if that is the case, then I have some special extra goodies for those of you who are early action takers. Does that sound fair? I'm going to do as much as I can for you for free in the hopes that it excites you. And then you say, this makes sense. I'd rather do it with Jason than do it on my own. It's probably a better deal to do it with him than try to reinvent the wheel and all that good jazz. But before I do any of that, let me see if I can create a paradigm shift. Let me see if I can create an aha moment, a complete, oh my God, this changes everything in your brain and in your heart. So what is an information product exactly? Well, it could be a combination of multiple things, but at the heart of it, it's really essentially just either an ebook, an audio product, or a video product. Now, later on, when you get fancy, you can combine these things. You can create an ebook, and then you could add supplemental audios to it, or you can design a video course and then pull from that transcripts and even templates and fill in the blank kind of stuff. But at the heart of it, it's one of these three things. And before you do this fancy, crazy stuff everybody else wants you to do, before you learn to fly, I say you learn to walk. That's an information product. It really has one of these three components. Now, why information products? And you probably already know the answer to this. I'm preaching to the choir here, but it's good to review this and help us understand so we don't get distracted by all the other moving things that are out there that tend to lure us in the wrong direction. Information products are so amazing because they basically cost nothing to create. Back when I started, it was a lot more complicated. You had to get licenses. You had to do fancy things to export to PDFs and all that crazy stuff. Nowadays, Google Docs pretty much can be your best friend. It's free to use, super easy to use, super intuitively. And I have made millions of dollars with nothing more than a Google Doc. If you want to do audio, Audacity is one of many different free programs, and I've sold hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars with Audacity as my main go-to when it came to audio. There's a lot of different screen recorders. If you want to go the video route, what to speak of the phone in your pocket having video capabilities, there are many free ones out of here. And so not only was the cost never that high to start in this business, it is essentially almost $0 today. So that's one of the big reasons. Another big reason is it's gotten so unbelievably easy to set your business up online, to be ready to sell info products and to take the money in and to fulfill on those info products. And so you can use one of the many third-party sites that exist out there like Udemy, or you can take off-the-shelf software like Kajabi and you can publish it and manage it yourself. And so long gone are the days where you have to toil and try to figure out and configure a Frankenstein version of some sort of online shopping cart. That stuff is really easy these days. It's not in and of itself enough. A Google Doc is not enough. You got to know what to put in it. A shopping cart that is easy to configure is not enough because you got to have the right type of info product. But all the other things around it to make the business run are now pretty easy as they've ever been. Also, the profit margins in this business are insane. In some instances, they're near 100%. Unlike other traditional businesses out there where you see profit margins 15, 20, 25%. You can never run out of inventory of a digital product. There are never supply chain issues when it comes to selling digital products. You can run the whole deal by yourself if you wish to without any employees and do so from anywhere in the world. I obtained financial independence before I ever hired a single employee or had anybody working outside of my business besides myself. I did it purely just by publishing info product after info product using a basic formula that I'm going to break down for you step by step before webinar's end. Even more important than everything that I just described to you of why you should be in the info business is the following reason. Traditional learning is dead. It's gone, it's dead, and it's never coming back. Wouldn't you agree that times change so fast these days that schools, even if they're trying their hardest, they just can't keep up? They just can't. And old education was based on this premise of a one-size-fits-all, and that's doomed in today's current society. Special people need specialized solutions. They need something very specific to them, and they expect to get it, and they look for it, and they're frustrated if they can't find it. We don't need to force everybody through the same door or try to jam every square peg into a single round hole. What you must learn to stay competitive in business and to be happy in life is going to be found outside of the normal educational system. And that's true for you, and it's true for the 8 billion other people that walk the planet Earth. And so they need your help. And this is why you're going to make so much money if you can help them. The reality is this: nothing I learned in school was as valuable as the things I learned from the info products that I've purchased over the years. I've made millions from business info products that I've bought. I've become a better father for my children from the parenting courses that I've invested in. I've become a happier, healthier me from the personal development courses that I've also invested in. The thing about selling info products, at the end of the day, it's this. It's as close as you can get to alchemy, meaning creating wealth out of thin air. And best of all, it's growing like gangbusters. The info product opportunity is on pace to hit a record growth, the likes of which we have never seen before. My question to you, who else wants to get paid to solve problems and help others? What a wonderful, virtuous business. See, for someone who can't sleep at night, put a dollar figure on that. What's a good night's sleep worth to that person? What would they pay if they could go from not being able to sleep to being soundly able to sleep? And more importantly, do they care if the solution that they paid for to get that good night's sleep was a 4-page ebook or a 7-page or a 9 or a 12-page? They're not buying the product. They're buying the outcome. The trick to success in this business is picking the right problems to solve and then solving those problems in the simplest yet most powerful way possible. Now, what I'll share with you today are the results of having created over 100, more than 200 actual info products over the last 15 years. This secret, the start of it, is what churned me into a millionaire. And then the momentum that came from it transformed me into a multimillionaire shortly after that. And the very first secret that I ever learned in the business put me in a position where I'm now being brought in sometimes by multi-billion-dollar companies like Zoom, who we are on today together, brought me in to do training, which is just information, right? And they allowed me to take part into commandeer the biggest internet marketing launch in the history of our business, of the internet marketing space. And they've even impacted people like Alex Hermosi, who said of one of the courses that I created, the single best course I've seen to date on offer creation. And if you don't know who Alex is, he's currently got a business book that is selling better than any other business book on the planet right now. So this leader of business, this titan of industry, is saying, Jason, you have created the single best course I've ever seen on offer creation. So that's kind of where the journey has led me over the 15 years. But here's what I've learned in this business. Before you go out and make your millions, what churns your life around is when you make your first dollar selling info products using a specific formula I'm going to share with you. It's the formula I tapped in for my first info product, which is this one, November 12, 2007, the day my life changed forever. And it's the formula I still follow hundreds of millions of dollars later. Here's the formula. Write this down. One problem, one solution, one sitting, product creation. We will impact that. But here's how I discovered this formula. What I noticed is if you have a month to create an info product, chances are almost 100% certain you'll never finish it. And if you say, I'm only going to give myself a week, Jason, to create an info product, chances are you're not going to finish it. It's not going to get done. Even if you say, I'm going to take the weekend, block it out, lock myself in a room, and I'm going to create my info product that way, Jason, the chances are you ain't going to finish it. And even if you say sun up to sunset, one day, 24 hours, I'm going to go create a product, it's still unlikely to get done. Because even a day is too long when you're starting out, when you don't have the success and momentum under your belt. Every other attempt that I ever tried to do to be successful in this business failed until I got this discovery here that you're going to see in the next slide. And the discovery is this. When starting out, if there is any break between starting and finishing an info product, you're probably going to fail. Any break at all. So what's the solution then? The solution is this. The product starts when you sit down at the computer, and the product is finished when you get up. No ifs, ands, or buts. You say, well, Jason, what if I got to go to the bathroom? You either hold it or you hurry up and finish the product. That is how serious I am about this. Because, see, the product that's 99% done, you know how much money that makes you? Exactly $0. So we got to get it done. In other words, you sit down facing a blank screen and you get up with something that can make you thousands of dollars. That's happened to me every single time I've done this exercise. It can make you tens of thousands of dollars. That's usually been my outcome. It can make you hundreds of thousands of dollars, which happens sometimes. And these days it happens more often than not. And occasionally, rarely, it can make you millions of dollars, which it happens to me Every year I'm seeing this happen now. But isn't that wonderful? This one problem, one solution, one sitting approach. It means that your product has to be short. It must be actionable. It has to cover only the essentials and nothing else. Because people are buying outcomes. They're not buying products. People forget that. It's the whole they want, not the drill, right? So we don't need a history lesson in these products. We don't need to know and worry about and prepare for every single possible scenario. We don't have to get into the minutia and drill down into those little details. We don't need this big, fat, inflated, massive undertaking. We don't need a thud factor of a product. What do we need? We need to solve one problem, and we need to give one solution to that problem. That's what we need. That's what I did for my first product. My first product I ever created, November 12th, 2007, forever changed my life. The product was called How to Write an Article in 7 Minutes or Less. Now, here's what's great about this product. It was only 7 pages long. There was a typo in the first sentence, and I sold the thing for a whopping $4. It's amazing it worked. I didn't know it would work so well. I was desperate. The good news about this product, the best news of all, is it took less than 2 hours for me to create. So hopefully, if I'm asking you, hey, listen, if you could make a lot of money, would you be willing to sit down and write 7 pages in one single sitting? And if you can't, I don't know what to do for you. But if you can, oh my goodness, it's not going to take long before you strike gold. So the risk involved in this is next to nothing. And the upside of this is tremendous. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Now, here was the results of that first product that I ever created. I took out a $20 ad in a forum, an internet marketing forum, and I sold 268 copies of that product in less than 24 hours. Then I got a little bit more confidence, because at first I was not confident. I was scared out of my mind. I was afraid. What if somebody buys my product from me and hates it? What will I do then? And my solution to that was like, just to sell this thing so damn cheap that nobody could hate it, because it was practically next to nothing. Then after I saw people actually loved it, because of the way in which it was presented, they could get it, they could consume it, and they could get a benefit from it all within 10, 15, 20 minutes, which is not normal when people buy info products. When I saw the testimonials start pouring in, I got brave and I bumped it from $4 to $7. And I continued to make a bunch of sales. And then I got even braver and I bumped it to $17 the week after that and continued to make tons and tons of sales. I was hooked. For the next 14 months, all I did almost every single week was sit down and try to create another product, a one problem, one solution, one sitting product. And after 14 months, I had so many products. It was insane, and so many customers and success stories. And the dust cleared, and I said, whoa. I didn't have to get better at this thing. I could just keep doing it, and I would be financially free. And, of course, you will get better the more you do it. I was hooked. Now, you may be thinking, but of course you can do that, Jason, because you have some sort of superpower that us mere mortals will never have. When you were born, the gods blessed you and said, this will be a child that will one day create info products, and here's the magic dust we'll sprinkle over him so he can do it. Oh, my sweet, sweet child. If you only knew. My previous qualification was I was a rapping Hare Krishna monk. That's kind of where I came from before I got into this business. I got into this business after becoming a monk and then saying, man, I need to figure out what to do with my life. It gave me enough clarity to focus a little bit. But I had no other qualification. And it took me a while. I tried a whole bunch of other stuff for a full year to try to make money on the internet and failed at everything miserably until I stumbled upon the formula that I just gave you. And know this, you don't become a monk because life is going well. You do it because life is hard and you're suffering. When I started my business, I was having panic attacks daily. I've had thousands and thousands of panic attacks. I didn't know it at the time, but I had ADHD. I still do. I was diagnosed later, but that doesn't change the fact that it was hard for me to focus and concentrate, which was my breakthrough. I had to figure out how to do it in short spurts. Later on, I became diagnosed PTSD. I had a pretty chaotic childhood growing up. The way I look at it is I'm not even supposed to be here. But here's what my adversity taught me. No matter how much the deck is stacked against you, there is always a way. And no matter what challenges you face, there is always hope. And no matter what you think you lack today, you have within you everything you need to reach the heights that right now you can't even dream about. You have the potential. Now you need a plan. And you need the following. So you have the potential already. I'm giving you the plan and continuing to reveal it on this webinar. All I ask is that you also have these things, some ambition. Not the type that moves mountains, just enough to get going. I know you have that ambition. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here right now. You also need a bit of focus, not that of a surgeon doing a 14-hour brain operation. You just need spurts of focus. Some here, some there. You up for that? Can you manage and muster up a little bit of focus here, a little bit of focus there? And then can you combine it with a healthy dose of desire? Because here's what I believe about you. I believe you deserve to be able to live life on your terms, to work when you want, live where you want, go where you want, spend your time however you wish, with whomever you wish, wherever you wish. You ready for that? Here's the key that will open that door. Your first or your next product is a one problem, one solution, one sitting product presented in a step-by-step format. First do this, then do that, then do this, then do that. And I want you to sell it at an absurdly low price. That's the doctor's orders. That's what I want you to do. I want you to start getting momentum, just like I did for Maddie, who followed this one problem, one solution, one sitting approach to info product creation. Now, here are the highlights from when he sent me this. He said he ended up spending 8 hours overall, and that included everything, not just the product, but the whole system. Now, I got him there faster because he invested in Product eClass, the offer I make at the end of these webinars. And so he got a template, he got some fill-in-the-blank stuff and everything else. But here's what I find most important. He says, at the end of around 24 hours, I had 272 sales and over $4,500 in sales. Now, if you look at paragraph number 2, he said, I already had the idea of what I wanted to do for as long as 2 to 3 months, but never got around to doing it. This is every customer I've ever encountered. The thing is, you already have the gold inside of you. You have an uncashed check inside of you in the form of a product. You just haven't figured out a way to liberate it or get it out. And so this formula is so powerful of taking these half-baked ideas or these things that you know are almost there but not quite there and getting them across the finish line. That's the real miracle of Product eClass, and this formula and this approach is pulling out what's already inside of you and just organizing it and putting it in a way that's easy for you to have impact and make profit. So here's where you're going to fail or succeed with this approach. You can stress over the what ifs. You can worry about making mistakes, and that then invites procrastination. Or you can know, like Maddie, that your success with this approach is inevitable. Inevitable success. What does that mean exactly? Here's what this means. If you create a product using my formula and it sells well, great. You've made a lot of money. Congratulations. If you follow the formula and for some weird reason the product doesn't sell well, great. You now have an asset. You have something you can give away for free. You can have something that you can use as a bonus for the next product that you create. And if the product that you create just does okay, fantastic. Because it's easy to do it again and do it again and do it again. Inevitable success. Here's the reality. Some of your products are going to do better than others. It's just the nature of the beast. Some of your products will flop completely. It happens to me. Happens to everybody who's in the business for more than a minute. Some of your products will do okay. And if you keep at it, a few of your products will completely change your life forever. Yes, I'm talking individual products that can build 6, 7, or even 8-figure income streams around. Now, I want you to have more of the 6 and 7 and 8 figures and less of the 5 or 4 figures. So we want to kind of make sure that your success is leaning towards more wins than losses or okays. So how do we do that? What's the trick for the biggest payoffs? What's the trick for the largest paydays? It's all these 4 things. So the better your products conform with these 4 things, the better you will do, right? So we want to create products that solve a singular problem. We want to create them in a single setting, and we want to offer just a single solution for those problems. That's the basis of the formula. Now, this is the advanced stuff. This is the higher level stuff. The better you can do the following 4 things, the more likely you will make more money, and the sooner you can make it, and the easier it will be for you to make it. Here are the 4 things. You ready for them? Better than free, pain before gain, instant gratification, hyper-specificity. That's it. Those are these 4 things. Seems simple, but there's more under the hood. There's more than meets the eye. Let's break them down. Better than free. Your product, if it makes somebody more money than what they invest in it, then they didn't pay you. They got it for better than free. If they invest in your product and it saves them more time than they would have if they did it on their own, then it's better than free. Because we just have to add up their time and say, you can do it on your own, it will take you X number of time, or you can do it with me and it will take you Y number of time. Which would you prefer? Keep your money and spend more time, or spend a little bit of your money and save a whole bunch of your time? So we try to, as much as possible, create products where they're more expensive not to purchase them. That should be your mantra. You do that, the world will treat you very kindly, my friend. Let me run you through a scenario, though, just so you can really see it in your mind's eye. Let's say your friend John here works at the local Starbucks as a barista, and he's making $15 an hour as a barista. And let's say John can go out and do all the research and find all the information for free online if he looks hard enough and he digs deep enough. So we'll call that option 1. Option 1 is John could spend 10 hours doing his own research to discover the solution. And even though John doesn't make a whole bunch of money right now, $15 an hour, his opportunity cost is $150. You follow me so far? So for him to do it for free is $150 in terms of his time. Or option 2, he just buys your ebook. And now he doesn't have to spend 10 hours of research. And let's say you sell your ebook for $9 to John. Which is the better deal? Option number 1 or option number 2? It's obvious, isn't it? It's option number 2 by a landslide. It's better than free. Even if the information is not revolutionary, even if the information is just out there freely available, saving even a near minimum wage worker time and handing it to them on a silver platter. Fantastic. Even if it took you 10 hours yourself. The beautiful thing is you do the research once and there are a million Johns out there who will pay you for it. If you follow this principle, then it will literally cost your audience more money not to buy your products. And how much easier is it to create those products then? How much better does it feel to sell those products? How much more can those products sell themselves? So we try to, as much as possible, create products that are better than free. Now, some of you get it right away. Some of you need some help with that. And that's why we really drill down on this concept more in Product eClass. Let's talk about number 2, pain before gain. This is a good one. This is the one where 9 out of 10 people miss it. And they continue to struggle. The way I frame it is this: before you sell the plan to heaven, provide the path out of hell. Let me give you an example, okay? Who's more likely to spend money? Thomas over there, who wants a whiter, brighter, neater, cleaner smile, or Jane over there, who has a crippling toothache, and every minute she delays taking care of that crippling toothache, she is in more and more pain. It's obvious. Jane is a better customer than Thomas is. Here is a point of fact that it'll be obvious to you when I say it out loud, but it seems like everybody forgets it when it's time to go to work and go out there and create info products. People will pay larger amounts and they'll pay much quicker to get rid of an existing pain. So much of what you see out there is talking about the gain. Here's how it will make you better. Here's how it'll help you unlock this wonderful thing and that and that. And the reality is consumers make purchases to get away from something, not to move toward something. So we sell the escape from pain. I am constantly obsessing and looking, and I'm pleading and begging you to do the same. Who is hurting right now? And how can we help them hurt less? So there's more of them out there. We're doing a greater good. They'll pay quicker for it. They'll have lower expectations, and they're more likely to succeed with the product, which is long-term how you're going to really build a business. That's how you help create that avalanche of profits, because they start to tell other people, because you get testimonials, so on and so forth. So we want to make it better than free. We want to sell the pain before the gain. And then the third, my constant go-to, is instant gratifications. The audiences that you can serve, they prefer smaller results sooner as opposed to bigger results later. The whole premise of my formula is to sell you an instantaneous result. I'm going to create a product in one sitting. I know people who have spent my father spent 20 some years trying to write a book and never completed it. And now he can't write anymore, unfortunately, in his advanced age. So smaller results sooner are better than bigger results later. By the way, you help people with smaller results sooner, they'll happily pay you to help them get the bigger results later. Here's a huge money-making secret for you if you can take this to heart and turn it into action. You can take any best-selling how-to book on Amazon. You could gut 95% of its content. Hone in only on that one thing that is most important and critical. And then you can turn that into a product and offer that up as an immediate win. Just that one key critical element that's lost in hundreds and hundreds of pages and hundreds of thousand words of these books that are written out there on Amazon. So here's an example of a book. I got this book in 2021, as you can see here, January 31st, How to Talk So Kids Will Listen and Listen So Kids Will Talk. Fantastic book, completely revolutionized my way as a parent, just absolutely improved my life so significantly with my communication with my children. Now, here's the thing about this book. It's 384 pages long, and it takes a lot of effort to go through it. Now, within these 384 pages, there was a single page in this book, page 9, as you see right there on your screen. And even more specifically, there were 4 steps given on this page that I instantaneously could understand and put into use the very same day that I read this page with my children. They were immediately a game changer the first time I used them with my kids, and I still use them to this very day. Think about it. What's easier to sell? A history lesson, 384 pages, 8 hours plus to read that cost $11.70, or an outcome, 10 pages. So you could take 4 steps, a 1-page intro, 2 pages per steps, and 1 page for conclusion, 10 total pages, total read time 20 minutes to the end user, and charge $7 for it. What do you think is more useful? What do you think is going to get people to buy sooner? And isn't it wonderful how it's so much easier to create something like this? Not only is it better for the user, not only is it easier to sell, it's also easier to create. And then lastly, hyper-specificity. The more specific, the better. The more you tailor your solution to a specific audience, the easier it is for the audience to find and buy from you. Here's what people get scared of when they think about this. They say, Jason, what if I make the audience so small there's not that many of them? Great. Slightly change the ebook and then sell it to the other audience that is adjacent to them. So most of the critical key information is the same. Only a few things change between this specific group and that specific group and that specific group. And there's so much more money to be made selling into the very specific groups and dominating it and going first and top of mind in all of those groups than it is to try to go after a big audience right away. The market for my first product was essentially 4 internet marketers who were using article marketing, which was writing these search engine optimized articles. And almost all of them were just posting them to a website called eZine Articles. That was my target audience. That was who I focused on. And even more specifically, and they were on a forum talking about article marketing. I mean, you couldn't carve a niche up any smaller. And I was able to instantaneously get rapport and get a recognition from that audience. They say, okay, cool, I'll buy your product and 15 other products. Because if any one of them works, I'll be happy. I always think about the Hare Krishna vegetarian cookbook. So talk about a niche within a niche, right? But this one sells better than most other cookbooks that exist, even though the target market for it is pretty small. And I've bought the book more than once throughout my life. Or I always think about my one of my first clients that ever joined Product eClass. So we're talking way back in 2009. a guy named Sherman. And you can see, if you watch the very first season or two of SpongeBob, he was the storyboard artist for it. He actually drew something for my brother and gave it to us. It was his gift of thanks for the value in Product eClass. But he took the strategies in there and he created a program called Storyboard Secrets, teaching storyboard artists how to make money doing storyboards. Isn't that crazy? And he made a killing, cleaned up. Here's a killer info product that is just begging to be made. I remember this. I was reading this article. I saw it one day. These people make thousands of dollars a month selling live roaches on eBay. And I thought, they would make tens of $1,000s per month selling a guide on how they make money selling roaches on eBay. Regardless if you're an expert or if you're a noob, creating a 1-1-1 product is the best way to get started in the info business. It's the quickest way to get your idea out of your head and into the real world where you can help real people and put real money in your pocket. And once you do that, then it's so much easier to make even more money. Because you know where the real money is in this business? It's from your existing customers. From the people who've already paid you once, getting them to pay you again or getting them to pay you more. Case in point. So Jay Boyer here. Jay enrolled in a previous Product eClass that I ran, and by the second week, he'd already earned over $10,000 because our focus is on getting money as fast as possible, getting customers and serving people as quickly as we possibly can. And then over the years, Jay has become a multi-million-dollar info product creating machine, and he's risen up and he's one of the top people in our industry now. And he got to start in Product eClass. Then there's Karen McDonough. He spent the last dollar he had to his name to join Product eClass. And good thing that he did. The results was he developed a product immediately within the first couple of weeks of going through Product eClass that did 5 figures. And then he used that product to become an info product consultant for others. And then he went on to generate millions for himself and his clients. He sent me this testimonial a few years back, maybe 5-6 years ago. He says, I owe a massive amount of appreciation to Jason Fladlien for mentoring me to succeed and giving me the permission to succeed. I've helped launch over 30 products, attracting over 60,000 paying customers, generating over $3 million for my clients, and probably another $1 to $2 million in affiliate commissions. Because once you got a customer and you've done a good job of satisfying them, that's the easiest money you could possibly make in the world. Dr. Mandy Kendall said, Product eClass was my catalyst to financial independence. The program is comprehensive yet precise and easy to learn. All I had to do was implement. Costas Pepis, he took Product eClass. One session of this 1-1-1 method helped motivate him to complete a half-finished idea. And the results was he transformed this abandoned idea that he had given up on into $19,000 in about a week's time. I see it too many times to count. You're walking around with gold inside of you. We just have to extract it. That's just the tip of the iceberg. I could go on and on and on with success story after success story after success story, and I think you get it. Others who are just like you did it. Does that mean that you can also do it? And the answer is probably not. See, if we parted ways right now, would you immediately go out, set the world on fire with your newfound product creation skills? And the answer to that is doubtful. When it comes to this, I probably know you better than you know yourself. You're stubborn. And if I let you, it's so easy for you to quickly default back to your old habits, which unfortunately are not making you the money that you deserve. That's why I won't let that happen. See, you need me in your ear for the next 7 weeks if you're truly going to use what I showed you today and turn it into piles of cash. And best of all, if you don't quickly make twice your investment back with my product creation secrets, then I will give you double your money back. That's how confident I am. It is with great pleasure to introduce to you for the first time ever, Product eClass 5.0, the brand new latest version of Product eClass. Now, here's where I got started. I got started in this tiny little shed in Coralville, Iowa, where my living room was my office and also my bedroom. And I couldn't fit both a desk and a bed in there, so I slept on the floor. That's where I created my first info product. Now, here's what made the difference. What made the difference was when I made my first big investment to work with the right mentor who gave me no other option but to succeed. And I want to extend that beautiful gift to you as well. Product eClass 5.0, 7 sessions, revealing in specific step-by-step detail every single important product creation strategy I've discovered over my $100 million plus in digital product sales. Let me break down quickly for you what each session entails for you. Session number 1, 5-figure info products in one sitting. This is where we're going to go very deep into exactly how to outline your one problem, one solution, one sitting products. I'm going to show you how to find the best products to create in seconds using a secret research technique. I'm going to give you the conversion template to plug that product into to make it a snap. And I'm going to show you the best traffic sources that you can also tap into to sell these products. Best of all, none of these products require your expertise or proof to be successful. Session 1 is all that and so much more. And it's the latest strategies in the here and now as I know it for you. Session 2, the third-party profit model. I've actually had the benefit of the late Larry King working with him on a project, and I even wrote the questions for Larry King to ask the guests that he was interviewing. So I know a thing or two about this strategy. The strategy is exactly as follows. You only need a few people that are experts out there that you go out and you reach out to, and you only need of those few people, one of them to say yes, to unlock thousands and thousands of dollars and do so in less than a month. It's a very specific way of creating an interview style product where you leverage other people's expertise. And I will give you all the easiest questions you can simply parrot to pull out gold. And then I'll give you the format to put it into an info product. And I'll give you all the ins and outs of how to make this business work. It is crazy how many geniuses are out there who don't understand how to churn that genius into money. I'm going to show you the deciphering, the decoder ring, if you will, on how to do just that. That is session 2. Some of the easiest money you can ever make. Some of the biggest wins that I see my clients make first were unlocking the genius of others and then putting it in a formula and format that I taught them to sell somebody else's expertise to the public and do so ethically where everybody was happy with the result. That's session number 2. Now, session number 3 is back-end profits. This is where all the real money is made in the info product business. This is where we show you how to get somebody who buys from you once and get them to buy from you over and over again, as well as refer others to buy from you as well. So the first way we do is in the first 2 sessions is these are designed to get you momentum. And session number 3 is now that the fire is crackling and going, we pour gasoline on it. That's session 3. Session 4 is traffic deep dive. This is where we can expand further the assets that you will create so they continue to make you money as opposed to big lump sum paydays. They've become more like continuity where they just keep paying you money over and over again. So I'll show you why the best traffic to make this happen is not for sale, can't be bought on Facebook, Google, or anywhere else, but you can get a ton of it and get a lot of it right away if you do what I'll show you in this session. I'm also going to show you one dead simple traffic hack that my top earning product eClass clients have used over the past 9 years. Just do this and your investment in product eClass will pay for itself many, many times over. We had our number 1 success story in product eClass, just this unbelievably sharp woman who was able to, more than anything else, just tap into this one strategy that I'm going to teach you in session 4 of product eClass time and time again. She was like a one-trick pony, but she was a very successful one-trick pony. That's session number 4. Session number 5, high-ticket info products. So there's a way you can take a product, change 10% of the product, and charge 10 times more for it. I'm going to also show you how you can spot and lock in on that 1 in 10 customer who will spend up to 50 times as much on a product if you just make a tweak or 2 here or there. I'm going to break down for you case study after case study of how we're able to go into markets as complete strangers and immediately sell products that are 10 to 100 times more higher in price than the so-called competition. That's session number 5. Session number 6, the webinar method. There's a reason why I use webinars to sell products more often than any other type of vehicle these days. This is why I'm using a webinar today to offer a product eClass to you. It's super effective, and it's even more effective when you have a product that you've already created from a previous session, and you slightly churn the dial on that product and morph it instantaneously into a webinar. The webinar is the single greatest tool that you can use online to sell info products, but only if you do it my way. Otherwise, it's way hard and it's way too unlikely to know if it will work or not. And it takes too much skill to do it the other way that these people teach. I'm going to show you the fastest path to 7 figures from scratch in less than 12 months, taking info products and churning them into webinars. And I know a thing or two about webinars. So Ben Hardy, who wrote this article for Inc. magazine, said how to make millions of dollars from the best webinar trainer in the planet. So people call me the best webinar presenter on the planet. Some people also call me the best webinar trainer in the world. And I've had people pay me $25,000 or more just to sit with them for a little bit and help them with their webinar. So that's session 6. Session 7, bigger traffic, bigger profits. This is when we talk about paying for traffic. I put it at the end because it's way down the line, but I want to be thorough and complete with you. So paid advertising, demystify why 99% of traffic buyers are guaranteed to fail and why you're now destined to succeed. There's something you're going to do that none of them do right. I'm going to also break down for you 3 little known places teaming with buyers almost everyone else overlooks. Tapping into these places means tons of profits and lots of happy customers. Product eClass 5.0. These are all brand new sessions, never been done before. All the latest, greatest, up to date, available to you in video form, audio form, PDF slides, and transcriptions, and you can access them anywhere you can connect to the internet. You get lifetime access to the members area. So if you wanted to log in 2,109 days from now to check out something, you absolutely could. And just kick off Product eClass 5.0, I'm doing the trainings live in person with a live audience. And since you're here today with me, you can be part of that live audience, the first time ever presenting these live in front of you. You'll get all those details when you go and sign up on when is what is released where and all that good stuff. Before you go to sign up, though, I'm sure what's on your mind is, Jason, how much? How much is it to get started with Product eClass? Now, tons of Product eClass members have made 5 figures, 6 figures, or even more, so a price tag of $9,997 would be more than fair. I know big, famous gurus who charge more than that, and they deliver less. So how much is it? Well, $49.95. That's my going rate, nearly $5,000 to do in-person trainings with me, where I go into the depth that I go into with Product eClass. How much is your investment, though? Well, I will tell you what others invest Product eClass for who are not on webinars like this, who don't get the special deal. $999.95 is what Product eClass retails for in the public every single day. For you, if you act fast enough before this offer expires, a special webinar exclusive offer, you can get in for just $499 one time. Or if you prefer, you could spread it across 3 monthly installments of $194 a piece. The only place you can get this deal, though, as long as you sign up before the countdown timer on that page expires. And now let's make this already small investment a pittance by offering you some of the most ridiculously valuable bonuses we possibly can. Bonus number 1. To call this just 101 killer product topics is to undersell it. You'll see in a second here, I put an animated GIF on what this looks like. You're going to get a whole bunch of different proven product ideas that are guaranteed winners in multiple niches, includes training on how best to exploit this list, as well as to use this list as a jump-off point for coming up with your own winning product ideas. So not only does I give you the fish, I teach you how to fish. That's bonus number 1. Whoa, my God, this thing is so good. Bonus number 2. AI product creation secrets. I laugh because I'm seeing all these different supposed overnight AI gurus pop up showing you theoretical ways to make money with AI doing this or that, and they're all just making it up. They're just guessing. I'm going to show you specifically what you can do with AI. We don't rely on AI as the primary way to make money. That's like pretending your car actually has autopilot right now when it really doesn't. The human still got to drive the damn thing. What I'm going to show you is how to apply the content secrets that I teach in Product eClass and enhance them with AI. This is like taking steroids, only it's not going to harm you. It's going to help you. So there's a very powerful way I've been helping clients with AI that has now just even taken everything we do in Product eClass and pretty much times it by 10. So I'm going to do a specific focused training as a bonus on exactly how AI can be used to take what you know, the secrets that no artificial intelligence has figured out yet about product creation. That's the secret sauce that I'm going to give you in Product eClass. And then we're going to add to it some of the efficiency and some of the other things that AI can do that no human can match. And this is when you take 4 and 4 and you don't add them together and get 8. You take 4 times 4 and get 16, or 4 to the power of 4. You feel me on that one? That's bonus number 2. Bonus number 3, marketing software secrets. This is specifically on how to set up and run your info product business as quick and as easy as possible. Everything from people signing up to setting up your sales pages to delivering the product to customer support and so on and so forth. We're the number 1 user of this platform, meaning we have sold more info products through it than anybody else who uses the platform. And there are tons of people who use this platform. So we are more qualified than anybody on how to use this platform specifically to run an info product business. And why these other shopping carts and these other tutorials on how to run an info business, they kind of Swiss Army knife it. They give you too many things to consider. In our true style, we break it down on the essentials, just focus on this. So we make it as easy as falling off a log for you to get up and running in your info product business. That's bonus number 3. Bonus number 4, the Rapid Crush templates. So we have fill in the blank sales templates that sell info products better than most people could if they spent days and days trying to write bullet points. You're going to understand why they are the soul of the info product business. And I'm going to give you some that are copy and pastable. It's going to blow your mind when you realize how powerful these are. The master interview questions, when you go out and interview other experts, either to create bonuses for your info products or to make them your own info products. And the master content cheat sheet. Everything I create to this very day starts with this 1-page cheat sheet to design and create the course curriculum. Oh man, this is such a shortcut. This took me a decade to really perfect, and you're getting this as a free bonus. Bonus number 5. So I tapped into the expertise of my friend Rachel Miller. She's part of a mastermind. That's $25,000 per member to attend that I run. It's called Driven. And we were at a Driven mastermind meeting, and I was teaching this idea of putting really valuable bonuses in your offer. And she says, Jason, I have a $997 product on traffic. Can I add that as a free bonus to your Product eClass when you launch it this time? And I said, abso-freaking-lutely. So this retails for twice the price of what you're going to invest to get Product eClass today. And Rachel's an absolute expert at getting viral traffic through social media. She is one of the top people on the planet. Her book sold hundreds of thousands of copies. She has been on some of the biggest media that you've ever seen. Is featured and interviewed, and she's got millions and millions and millions of visitors to her web properties based on these techniques that you're going to learn for free as a special bonus. That's bonus number 5. Bonus number 6, I'm going to give you resale rights to 3 of my products. So literally, if you can't create a product, or while you're starting to create products, you can grab one of my products, put it out there, keep 100% of the profits. See, I can offer this bonus to you because it's so easy for me to create high quality info products. So I'm just going to flat out create them and give them to you so you can sell them and keep 100% of the profits. Not only am I going to give you the product, I'm going to give you a world-class sales funnel as well from start to finish. So you get the product and you get the sales funnel that goes with it, and you could keep 100% of the profits. So that way we can make it as easy as possible for Product eClass to be more than free to you as quick as it possibly can be. Bonus number 7, private consults. So this is a conditional bonus. Not everybody gets this, but this is to incentivize you to be successful sooner. And the private consult works like this. Once you reach $10,000 in product sales, just write to support@rapidcrush.com and we'll schedule a private 30-minute consultation with me where I'll show you how to take that $10,000 winner and ratchet it up to a $100,000 winner. Now, let me tell you why I made this a bonus, because I got tired of finding out about my success stories in Product eClass second and third hand. Sometimes people would walk up to me or they would tell me 5 or 6 years later, hey, I took Product eClass, Jason, made a whole bunch of money. I'm like, why didn't you let me know? They didn't. So more than anything, and I normally wouldn't do this because I charge $3,125 an hour for consulting, and I'm booked far more than I even want to be for consulting. I do this so I can collect the success stories and then ratchet those success stories up even further. So that's bonus number 7. Now, here's the bad news. Not everyone's going to get the special $4.99 pricing, nor are they going to get all of these bonuses. They are reserved for fast action takers only, like the Jay Boyers, the Mandy Kendalls, and the Casas Pepis. That's the type of people that I want to reward with our new special webinar-only product eClass discount. This is everything you get as long as you sign up before the countdown timer hits 0. And know this, your investment is twice protected. I truly, really do want you to succeed. Your success is my success. So we have the standard money back guarantee for any reason or none at all. If you want your money back in 30 days or less after you invest, you get it. No questions asked, just right into support. However, let's take it up. I'm going to also give you a double your money back guarantee. And it goes like this. Just follow one of my product creation secrets. And within 60 days, if you don't make double your investment, I'll give you twice your money back. Now, there's some details attached to that and some conditions attached to that. They're very simple. You'll be very pleasantly surprised at how little you have to do to qualify for this double your money back guarantee. So the way I've designed this is you can't fail. Your only way that you fail with this is not signing up. But if you sign up and apply it, success is guaranteed. And we got your back every step of the way. We have around-the-clock, 24/7, 365-day support. We average about 57 minutes response per ticket. And we are so proud of our support. We put it on every single page that we publish. Support@rapidcrush.com. We are always an email or a click away. The bottom line is this. The future is digital products. The world is changing, and you're either going to adapt or you're going to get left behind. You now have a chance to earn money, leave a legacy, make a difference. This is the next level right here. And the best way to get to that next level is have someone who's already been there reach down, grab you by the hand, and pull you up. I'm extending my hand down to you right now to pull you up. The value is off the charts. The top online marketers in the world, they pay me $25,000 for a single day of consulting. You're going to get 16 plus hours of my best secrets for a special low global lockdown investment. We're locking this thing down because it's taken over the globe. This thing is moving at a rate and growing at a rate you just can't even understand. So please help me help you. So I have I have some testimonials I could also show you from here on out. And I think we will if we have time later. But I think what makes the most sense to use our time with right now is to drill down on the questions that are helping people understand if they should sign up for this or not. So let's take a pulse. Let's check in. What are you seeing, my friend?
Well, first of all, the energy in the chat box here is just awesome, Jason, which is a testimonial to you and how much value you've presented and your energy level in presenting it, despite technical difficulties early on. One of the questions that just came in, so recency is good, is whether this can be used in the French market. This information is language and country agnostic because people buy information products all over the world. Jason covered that a little bit.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because that is a hole in this presentation that I need to plug. Some of the greatest growth we're seeing from our clients and the people that we work with is coming from non-English speaking countries. There's generally this isn't a global statement, but there's generally a 5-year lag between the U.S. market and every other market. So if you say, hey, Jason, I wish I had a time machine, what would be hot right now in the market? Well, if you're in a non-English speaking market, go back to what was hot 5 years ago in this market and apply it. Will and I have done extremely well taking these same principles and selling them in Brazil, for example. We actually had a product eClass Brazil edition where the whole thing was done in Portuguese and it just cleaned up. What we love about selling products that are localized to other languages is generally it's the easiest thing in the world to run ads to those products. In the US, it's a lot more complicated. So we don't go with an ads first strategy in the US, but in these other countries, the advertising is so damn cheap. You could be terrible at it and see above average results. At least that's been our experience. And so for you in foreign speaking countries, you absolutely can make these work and you should be very excited to make these work. That's a laydown. Now, that doesn't mean that if you're in an English speaking country, you shouldn't do it either. This is a situation where the cup runneth over. It doesn't really matter what market you're in. People are desperate to find solutions. And right now, the normal means in which they used to get solutions isn't sufficient. So they are searching and finding, they're desperate to find them. The way I always look at this business is I think of people drowning in the ocean. And I could either stand by and watch them drown, or I could throw them a life raft, save their life. And that's what the right type of information can be, is pulling somebody out of suffering, out of despair, out of challenge. And so this is the call that I'm calling you towards. And so I think that's universal. Doesn't matter what language you speak. As long as you can find them on the internet and they have a way to pay you money, then you're good.
Awesome stuff. I just sent you a comment via text message, Jason, from Michael. Michael just signed up, like
cool.
many other people have. This is his first course ever. He's 61 years young. One of the reasons why he signed up is because, Jason, you replied to one of his YouTube comments about giving away a product for free and invited him to send a copy of the new book to you. That's awesome.
Brilliant.
So thank you, Michael, for
welcome,
sharing
Michael.
that.
Yeah, welcome. I'm glad that you're with us. And by the way, it speaks to a larger thing. Why would I still be grinding and hustling and out here teaching this stuff, right? One of two reasons. One, I'm either completely lying and I'm broke and I'm desperate and I need to make money, which I think we could all agree is preposterous. Or reason number two, I practice what I preach and I believe it. Like what keeps me young and feeling strong and excited to wake up and conquer the day is the ability to transform an idea into something that can help somebody else. And then you get paid to do that. And so that's what keeps me going. So Michael, I'm excited and I'm glad that attitude, I showed up for you. Now I'm excited to see how you will show up for others.
That's awesome. One thing that really makes me super happy, Jason, is seeing names of customers that we've known for so long. There are people here that we met over a decade ago, and they are still with us. They're still coming to our webinars and still seeking to learn and still growing their businesses and counting on us to help them do that. So that's super exciting. One of these people is Brierly. Brierly from Zimbabwe is here. Brierly, your question is very specific. So if you could write to support, I will give you some ideas there how to deal with the payment systems and such. So support at rapidcrush.com. Great to see you. Brierly gave me a very cool souvenir from Zimbabwe. It was a note, a Zimbabwe, I think it's called a Zimbabwe dollar, with a lot of zeros in it. Let's just put it this way. If that was a US dollar, I could be retired. That was one of the coolest gifts I ever got. So thank you, Brierly, for that. I appreciate it. When can you start? The question is, there's a list of all the sessions in there, all the 7 sessions plus all the bonuses. Underneath each of the sessions, there's the specific date and time when the training will take place. Jason is delivering this training live. 1 session every week for a total of 7 weeks starting on May 2nd. Every session is recorded and placed in the members area so that you can go review it at your discretion anytime you want to. And some of these sessions, you're going to, probably all of them, you're going to want to review, because every time you review something that you've already watched, you tend to learn something new. You pick up a different golden nugget here or there, or you just get a different perspective because you are now more experienced. Have you ever had the experience of you watch a TV show or read a book and you love the book, and then if sometime later, it could be months later, years later, you read the same book and you're like, wait, is this the same book I read? Because I have a completely different understanding and experience now. It's because you've grown, you have more experience that affects the filters through which you look at this information. And this is going to be the same with this course. Jason is going to have information-packed sessions, and you are likely going to want to watch this more than once. Doesn't mean you have to, but it will benefit your business if you do. I can almost guarantee it. So live sessions where you can ask him questions during the sessions, and they'll be recorded and placed in the members area. They're usually in the members area within 24 hours. We do a little bit of editing to smooth out the replay experience, and then you can watch it for as long as you want to, anytime. All right. We do not charge anything beyond the $499 or the 3 payments of $194. As you build your business, there will be tools that you will want to purchase, and some of it you will have to purchase. For example, you will need some website to host your sales pages and deliver the content, right? How much does it cost to have a website? These days, it costs like, I don't know, $5 a month. You can get hosting and set up a WordPress site. We also will show you, it's one of the bonuses, we're going to show you the specific CRM slash shopping cart slash funnel builder slash contact management system slash everything marketing software all in one that we use. In fact, we're going to hook you up with a 30-day trial for it for $1 once we deliver that to you as one of the bonuses. And you can try it out and we'll show you how to use it. It's one of the bonuses. And beyond that, it costs you, I think, $99 a month.
Yeah, that's
something like that.
Yeah.
It's $99 a month. And it's an all-in-one system. It handles your email, your funnel building, your hosting, your contact management, your shopping cart, and all that. I can't think of anything else that they would need to purchase, Jason. Beyond that, I mean, if you decide, depending on what types of products you're going to create, you may need software to edit videos. But most platforms like the Mac includes iMovie for free. You don't have to buy any software. But if you want some software to make something simpler, there's nothing that is required of you specifically. If you are going to want to present webinars, you're going to need a webinar platform like a Zoom, for example, a Zoom account. There's a cost there. But again, it's not required, and only if you need to use it for that particular purpose. We're very transparent, and our customers here will attest to this. And if we weren't, we wouldn't have people like Brierley, who's been a customer for years, and Carol League, who's been a customer for almost a decade. And many others here who have said hello, and I say hello back. We wouldn't have these customers for so long if we weren't transparent. So when you look at the page, it's why underneath every session we tell you exactly how it's going to be delivered. Underneath every bonus, we tell you exactly when those bonuses are going to be available to you. And these have been very well thought out to be delivered to you at the time when you can use it best. Not just willy-nilly, we want to deliver at a certain date and time. So we go for full transparency here. That is the way that we've always operated. And we absolutely have the best support in the industry to back it up too. So a lot of people asked about what additional investments. Hopefully I've covered that.
Yep. Yeah, really, let me put an exclamation mark on that. You will, over time, as your business grow, have to invest because it will cost you more money not to. But you invest. The way it works is like this. You have a pile of money. You pull some of it out of an existing pile of newfound money, and then you put it into something that will probably increase that size of the pile of money, right? So when Will is saying, like, there are certain things where it may make sense for you. For most of you, I don't see it in your near future of you doing a webinar. That's something that's down the road. But I want you, when you're ready for it, to have it in here. It's already in here for you. So if you need it, better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, right? At that point in time, I guarantee you're already making a ton of money. So then you're saying, if I have to invest in a platform like Zoom to do Zoom webinars, it's a small investment to help me increase the size of the money that I'm already making. So there are no other additional investments that you would need outside of Product eClass for it to work. If you'd ever wanted to buy software, you could just go to a place like Udemy and use that platform. Now, I'm not a huge fan of those third-party platforms like that because they take a huge percentage of your sales, which I would rather you put it in their pocket or your pocket than their pocket. I also don't like you selling info products on a shelf where you're next to other people's info products because then it commoditizes them, which is sad because they're not commodities. They're unique and they're special and they're valuable and they're designed. But you literally could go that route. Or you can go the route that we recommend. When your product's done and it's time to sell it, take our $1 trial for 30 days with the platform that we use to run our info business, and then sell product, and you'll make your profit before the next 30 days is due. And then it's only $99. Well, they don't realize how easy they have it these days. Back in the day, to run this business, you would need a separate website builder. You would need a separate members area. You would need a separate support desk. You would need
email
a separate
provider.
Yeah.
Shopping cart.
And it still wouldn't put you any closer to making any real money. Just like a faster computer doesn't make you more money if you don't already know how to make more money on the internet. So there used to be the days with customers where they'd have to spend $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 to get a thing up and running. And that was not sufficient. That was just the groundwork. And they would still need the right product. And the right product's more important than all of that stuff. So the barrier to entry used to be very high. Now the foundational stuff is free. You could do all of it for free. And in fact, my whole attitude is to start and to do it for free.
Which is great, right, Jason? Because now you don't get all that noise of setting up systems and which things to buy and which things to set up. And it's not about buying and setting up. It's you have to integrate all those things, make sure that when somebody bought, they actually ended up with an account in the members area and all that. That was all very difficult. Now it's very simple, especially with the software we're going to show you, which is what we use. That makes all the difference in the world. So, which means that you no longer have to worry about the tech side and the systems and the implementation and the integrations. You can focus on the content of your products and creating more products, which is the fastest path to growing your business.
That's right.
One of the team members, Sabrina, just corrected me. The first session is not May 2nd. The first session is May 8th. Okay, and that's why I asked you to go ahead and read it. It's on the site. I was incorrect.
This is why we put it on the site, because memory's faulty, but that will be absolutely 100% accurate.
Yeah, that's right. So a whole lot of folks asked about the additional costs. Hopefully we answered that. And I want to segue into what you said, Jason, that eventually they will need to invest more in their business. Every business as it grows is going to need more tools, more knowledge, more people, and so forth, right? Once you're running $1 million business, when you get there, you can't do it yourself. You're going to have employees, right? Is that a bad deal? Well, if you can do it profitably, it's not a bad deal, right? I almost guarantee that after you've done a few webinars, when you get to that point, and like Jason said, most of you will never do a webinar, and that's okay. Some of you will get to the point where you're doing webinars, and that's great. Those of you who get to a point where you're doing webinars, after you have a few webinars under your belt and after you've profited from webinars, you're going to want to enhance your webinar presentation, knowledge, skills, technique. And at that point, you will want to come buy Jason's Genius Webinars course.
Absolutely.
Or the latest version. So you don't have to buy anything, but you're going to want to buy some stuff later. But right now, you got to focus on what's in front of you. You can't put the cart in front of the horse, as they say. Product eClass is an all-encompassing course, and it'll get you where you want to go if you follow the system that Jason teaches. Period. End of story.
My first 13 months in this business, I never sold a product that was over $27, right? So for the first 13 months that I was in this business, I specialized in selling products that were $4, $7, $9, $12, $14, $17. And they were all 1-1-1 products. One problem, one solution, one sitting. I would go around and listen to people complain. And every time somebody complained, I heard dollar signs. I saw dollar signs and I heard cash registers ring. Because I'm like, if enough people complain about one very specific issue, then that's a clue that I'm going to create an info product to solve that one very specific issue. And that's all I did for the first 13 months I was in business. And I had made over $100,000 in my first 13 months in business. And I will tell you something. That's remarkable because the industry was 148 times smaller than it was today, right? But the same formula works today. And in fact, it works better today than it ever did before. And so after 13 months, when that became as easy as tying my shoes and as easy as breathing air, then I decided to level up a little bit. That's when I said, okay, if we want to sell more mid-ticket products, selling a $199 product or a $200 product, what would need to happen in order for that to take place? That's when I started using video. Up until then, I just made PDFs for the most part. So then I learned how to add video to it. Then I learned how to do some of the other stuff, but only after the foundational stuff became automatic and only after I was making some real money. And that's how your progress is going to be. I literally had somebody the other day. We hired her to write some email copy for us. And while she was writing it, she picked up the content, what I was teaching. So she had to go through what I was teaching in order to write some emails for it. And then she sent me an email 2 days ago saying how she made her first $2,000 in the info product business because she took what she learned while she was writing copy for us and got inspired and created her own info product out of it. And has already made $2,000 with it. And she'd never done anything like that before in her life. Crazy, huh? It's insane. And she specifically referenced, she says, Jason, you taught in the product eClass, the crawl, walk, run model. And I'm teaching all of you to crawl before you walk, and I'm teaching you to walk before you run. What's frustrating about this industry that we're in is all these gurus, they're teaching you a super advanced strategy, and you're on step 1, and they're on step 101. It's no wondering you're having so much trouble succeeding. So we're going to break it down and start with the simplest way for you to make money as quick and as fast as possible. And then if we pull that off, then you can either just repeat that or you can slightly optimize one thing and level up a little bit. That's what we're about.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying May 8th can't come fast enough. That's great. Now,
well,
there are a lot of questions.
Before then. You never know.
There are almost 900 people here live. So I apologize. The questions go really fast for us. So if we miss your question, feel free to ask it again in a few minutes. Wait a few minutes to see if we get to it. I am getting a lot of questions about when, how, timing. If your questions relate to when the content's released, how the bonuses are delivered, when they're delivered, what is encompassed in the bonus, do me a favor and take a look at that page because we've detailed everything. For example, somebody was asking, how do you book a consult with Jason as part of that bonus? That is listed. You need to do some stuff before you get that consult, but that is specified in great detail on that page. So if you don't have a browser open right now, I just put a link in the chat box right now. You should click that link. And even if you're not ready to look at the page, just leave that open on your browser right now. Now you should be signing up if you've made up your mind. But if you need to look at more information, leave that open so that you can go there when this webinar is over. Hopefully, we will help you make a decision before it's over. Let's see. You don't need to set. Okay, so do we need to set up websites, and do you teach us to set up websites? The product needs to be listed on some page, some sort of page where somebody can click the add to cart button and purchase the product. The product will then need to be delivered somehow. It can be delivered via email, via website, via download page, via members area. There are all kinds of ways to deliver the product depending on what the product is. We will teach you how to do that in a platform that we use in our own business that takes care of all of the technology related to selling and fulfilling a product. It includes the hosting for your sales pages. It includes the membership site tools to deliver your product. It includes a help desk system so that you can answer support questions if a customer didn't get a download link or needs their password changed to the members area. All of that is included in this and a whole lot more in the software. And we're going to teach you the fastest path to setting it up. So you don't have to worry about the technology. That's one of our bonuses. You don't have to worry about the technology and the web hosting and the web pages and all that. That's all pretty simple. In fact, with the resale rights products, we will give you the sales pages to implement quickly inside the system. Literally, it will take you minutes to set up and be able to sell the resale rights products.
Yeah, if technology is the thing that's scaring you and it's the only thing stopping you from investing, oh man, You're going to be very happy when you realize what a non-issue this actually is. This is a
We used to
boogeyman under your
say,
bed.
we used to tell people like years ago that don't worry about the technology, you can overcome the technology.
Yep.
Now they don't even have to overcome it. It's been
They just have
overcome
to
for them.
they have to overcome the scary monster in their mind that thinks technology is complicated. And I'll tell you, it kind of is. Now, let me explain why. It used to go from you had to have a PhD in engineering to even sit up and configure this thing, right? That's where it used to be. Now it's moved to the other end of the spectrum where, hey, listen, I could show you 6 million things you can push buttons for. So it's like the remote controls you have that have 6,000 buttons on them. So this is why it's complicated now. It's complicated now because you have to know what to ignore. In the past, it was complicated because it took you had to understand and write code and do all sorts of complicated things that are beyond the grasp of most of us to get. What Will and I's bonus will show for you, and it's not just us, it's our team, the bonus of how we use the software that we use to run our company. We just delete everything you don't need to focus on and zoom in on the few things that are important, and we document that. Which is, by the way, isn't that exactly what we teach you on how to do for info products too? And the answer is yes. Delete the 95% of information that isn't important and shine a spotlight on the few vital things that are important. Less is more. And so, yeah, if technology is your only thing holding you back from investing today, I'm telling you, my friend, come on in. That is going to be the least of the things that you'll have to wrestle with in this business. Super easy stuff. And that's true whether you take the trial offer for $1 for 30 days with the system and then pay $99 a month, or it's true if you just use a third-party site in order to do it and deliver it for you, where you don't even have to set up anything, where they literally have everything built in. You pay nothing up front. You just give them a percentage of your profits. I hope you don't do that, though, because that will cost you a lot of money eventually out of the success that you will have paying somebody else to host and run things when it's so easy to do it yourself. And we have support for you too on top of that.
All of the bonuses are delivered very specifically where we believe they fit best in the way in what you're going to learn. So for example, a bonus that will help you sell the product isn't correctly placed if I deliver it to you before you create your first product. So you got to learn how to create a product and actually do it before you start setting up the platform to sell it, right? You got to take it one step at a time. So a lot of the reasons we've structured the delivery of the bonuses the way we have, given the experience that we have, the first version of this course was created 14 years ago. We've literally taught thousands and thousands of customers through the years on product creation. We've learned a lot, and we know that people tend to get distracted if they're given too much at once. Now, this isn't true for everybody. Some people like to just get it all at once and drink from a fire hose. Unfortunately, we can't uniquely accommodate one person versus another, right? So we go for the more general type of individual, and the great majority of people would get distracted if we gave them too much at once rather than a specific path to success. So we've chosen, based on experience, to give the bonuses and that space out the training sessions in a particular way. This comes from 14 years of experience of Jason doing this and our team supporting this program.
Yeah, I mean, Will, though, the reality is if all they did was watch the first session, didn't watch any other session, didn't consume any other bonus, did nothing else but just go through that first session, you're going to get 10 times your money's worth. I promise you that. That in and of itself. You know, Will, we said this last week. Will's like, I've never heard you say this before, Jason. And I'm like, yeah, I just made it up on the spot. Because I was getting frustrated with an audience. And I said, tell me if you get a library card that you feel compelled to have to read every book on the shelf, right? I'm like, please tell me that's not you. If you got a library card, while there's all sorts of resources for you, you should never feel guilty or pressured to consume everything just because you can. And so these bonuses are designed to help you and support you in various different paths in your journey, or in different specific scenarios. None of them are essential. None of them are required. Just like all 7 sessions aren't required. You'll see it in the welcome video in the members area. When you watch that video, I'll explain to you how I designed the course. I designed it so you could randomly pull any session out and only follow that session and be successful, independent of whether you watch any other session. I also designed it to where they are helping